Whee!
Ding dong!
There he is.
There he is.
You figured it out, Rob. I'm proud of you.
Guys, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you, mate?
I'm good. All the better for seeing you.
Oh,
Yeah. Look at
likewise.
this. Up in a freeway with you,
And
Dan.
you're in the Premier League again.
I know, back in the big time, mate.
You're back in the Premier League for a
About time.
season. That'll be good,
A
won't it?
season.
A season.
I was just saying to Jack, I can't even take the mick out of you this year for being crap.
No. Oh, I was going to... No, I won't.
Go on.
Are you going to put your shirt on?
I was going to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, how you been doing? What you been up to? Been pretty busy year, haven't you, by the looks of it?
Go on, Rob. We've already had a chat.
Yeah. I've been, trying to keep busy, I guess. There's only so much you can do. We spent the whole 4 months apart. And, just trying to get as much done as we could, I guess, on Zoom and sharing computer screens and that kind of thing. So we kind of kept busy doing that kind of stuff. But other than that, I have done nothing. Nothing.
I was just chatting to Jack about if you've done a lot of the Zoom stuff, and Jack was saying in terms of the co-writes, it's not great for you to be working on Zoom.
Yeah, we've never really done Zoom rights, have we?
No, it's hard, but we managed it. I actually think that we got some pretty good results from it, though. Better.
Yeah, I think we did as well.
I think most of the songs that we came up with were better than with the ones that we were getting when we were in the room. So I'm quite happy just carrying on, not seeing it.
yeah, not seeing each other. Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of these isolation station things, which have been really cool. And obviously, one of the challenges of this whole scenario is just keeping content coming, because obviously we can't see each other, we can't go out and do things.
Yeah.
How difficult has it been for you guys to keep coming up with fresh ideas, and how fun has it been to do those isolation things?
I mean, at first they were a ball ache. I'll be honest.
It was stressful.
It was trying to figure out how to do it to make it look like we were doing it at the same time, and then timing the the intro, when we were speaking before it, it would take 6, 7, 8 times to go, because I'd be mid-sentence and then Jack's counting me in, so it's
it was very stressful. We got used to it, but it's we'd end up doing we had to do a 3-song set for one of them, and I'd have to record all the 3 songs and then send it to Rob, but then leave gaps for him to talk, and I ended up recording it about 10 times and stressing out there. We got there.
You're pros at it now, you're getting the hang of it.
Yeah, but it was just getting your head round because I know nothing about video editing or anything like that. So it was teaching yourself an entirely new skill just to keep the project going. And that's great, because I've learned how to do it, kind of. And but the swearing was coming out while I'm trying to because you'd figure something out in I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, Adobe. You'll know, Premiere Pro. Yeah. And you'd get sort of so far, and then another problem would arise, and I'd be like, I've got to go back to Google now, Google that, and then you get a little bit further in, and then you didn't like that because this wasn't like that, and I was like, no!
Mate, it's crazy. I've been using that software for 5 years now, and I still haven't learned even 10% of it. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's just it's honestly, I just stick to making songs. I can do that.
But I wanted to ask you guys as well about how challenging this period has been in general for you guys, personally and professionally as well, because you must have taken a huge hit financially as well, I guess. So what's it been like from your point of view as a musician?
I mean,
really, I think.
Yeah. It's stressful because the uncertainty of everything. But I think personally, there's been like good parts and bad parts, I guess, because the bad parts, I like going outdoors a lot. So at the start, like it sucked a little bit, but it's definitely, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's given people a lot of time to just get their stuff together, you know, and like maybe do things that they wouldn't have had the time to do before. It's nice to see families out and doing stuff together. you know, riding bikes and things like that. So that's all been quite nice. But yeah, I want to go back to work.
I mean, it's difficult to plan for anything. So, like, have you guys
Yeah.
got an idea in your heads of what you'd like to do over the next few months, or is it just like roll with the punches?
Well, I think we'll push the new record that wasn't planned to, you know, as much as we can with that, because it doesn't look like there's any sign of any live shows happening anytime soon. Probably, I personally don't think we'll see one this year.
I mean, I think C2C is going to be a stretch, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I
mean, ideally, you know, the goal for us is just to get back playing shows again. But you know, that's the thing, isn't it?
Fingers crossed. Well, let's talk about this new EP because, well, you've got a song coming out on Friday, which is another Holloway Road banger, pretty standard. So tell us about Senseless and how that one came together.
Well, that came together on Zoom.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was quite. It's kind of the same for all three in a sense of like actually putting the song together. One of us would be sat on one end of a computer and the other one, and it was quite difficult because only one of us could do the recording.
Yeah.
At any one time. Usually, when we're both in the room, we're both sort of, you know, doing it. So it was a lot of one person doing recording and the other person watching, and sort of trying to put as much input as they could in sort of that way. We'd obviously bounce, like, you know, send things to each other through like email and stuff, but yeah, it was that. And I can't remember. It
was definitely like the least stressful EP we've made, I'd probably say, because we didn't put any pressure on it. Like we didn't have any plans to release an EP. We were just like, oh, let's just write on Zoom and see what happens. And I think because of that, it was just, there was no pressure, and that's probably why we got good results and why the songs come out good, you know?
Yeah. And tell us about getting Carol Baskin involved, because that was just classic. Absolutely classic.
Well, that's like
only you guys could do that.
I can't. It was I'd seen her do one on this Cameo thing. I can't even remember what it was. Someone had done it and taken the piss and making her say all these things that we all yeah. And then I saw another one, and someone from Essex had paid to make her do one about keeping like face masks on for the people of Essex. And then it was at that point where it clicked. I was like, this is like, anybody can do this. So I just thought it's just one of those things that I was just in the car and I was like, stop. I stopped the car and I was like, I called Jack and I was like, right, this is what's happening. And I went away for a couple of days. So I left it. I asked Jack if he would take care of it. And he sent her like a video and everything. I was like, hi,
I had to send her a video. I was like, hi, Carol, it's Jack here. You know, like, we're massive fans of everything you're doing over at Big Cat Rescue. Can you do us a solid and promote our record for us? And literally within 3 hours, there was a video come back. I couldn't believe it. I was gobsmacked.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She's a pro. She's a pro.
But
it's brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah, that video's got something like 30,000 views or something ridiculous now.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
We had to get it. We got it out like as soon. We weren't actually gonna like start promoting the single yet or the EP, but we were like, we can't have anyone else do this before us, so we had to just bang it out straight away.
Oh, that was quality. But I want to speak to you about the writing for the EP as well, because you mentioned earlier that you've done it all yourselves and doing it all through Zoom. How has that differed from, I know you've been co-writing a lot with people in Nashville over the last few years, so do you almost feel like you've become better writers yourselves for that experience and now you feel more comfortable doing it yourselves?
What do we feel that we've become better writers from writing with other people?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, without, I mean, for me personally, I'm not sure about Rob, but yeah, definitely. I think you get to see how other people work as well, and you know, kind of get ideas of how to work differently than you usually would and things like that. But yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Yeah. Just being in the room with any other writer is, you know, is inspiring in one way or another, because everybody thinks differently, everybody has a different process, and then you open yourself up to experiencing all these different ways of writing and other people's thought processes and that kind of thing. And it opens up your mind to think differently, I think, as well. And you can kind of go, oh yeah, I like the way that person does that, so essentially I'm just going to nick it.
Yeah.
and you know, it works for us.
It definitely makes you up your game as well. I think, especially when you're in a room with, you know, writers that might have had, you know, a lot of hits and stuff. I don't know, something just clicks and you just have to up your game somehow. And I think you just become better in general anyway. I mean, I'd like to think we've become better writers. I mean, you can hear the new record, you might disagree.
Yeah. But I want, from a production point of view as well, Rob, do you feel like you've become a much better producer over the last few years or so? Because you've done a lot for you guys, you've worked with other artists as well. Do you kind of know what works now and what works in terms of sound?
Yeah, I think I'm getting a bit of an idea of what people are, you know, latching onto over here and, well, everywhere. But yeah, it's another one of those things. Different artists all want something different, because obviously they want to be unique. So every time I work on a new song, I try and think, well, how can I make that a little bit different from that? I mean, I've got quite a few telltale, like, signature moves, but ultimately I try and make it as broad as I can. So definitely, yeah, because even again, going back to working with other writers, and they're all producers as well, and they all produce they all produce stuff for other people. So again, I'm opening up, like I said earlier, I'm opening myself up for inspiration from anybody else that I've worked with in the past. So I'm my own worst critic. I will sit there and I'll be like, this sounds rubbish. This is not working for me. And Jack sat in the back of the room going, but this is the best one you've done yet. And I'm like, oh, I don't think so. Shut up. But I think I've always quite struggled to feel that I'm improving myself, but the phone rings. So I guess I must be, you know. But yeah, I do feel that it's, you know, I've benefited greatly from it. Yeah.
So talk us through the track list for the EP, because obviously we saw the initial announcement, but we don't know about the specific songs and how many songs there are on there. So what can we expect from it?
Ooh, can we talk about this? Yeah, we can talk about this, can't we?
I mean, I'll put this out whenever I'm allowed to put that information out. So.
So we've got obviously we've announced the first single from it, and it is a 3-track EP. We might have to talk to this with Luke, but it's a 3-track EP, and the plan is that we're going to release each track individually, and then once the last track has been made available, the EP is made available as a whole.
The free.
We'll have to wait and see when the other tracks come.
Yeah,
but they are coming.
They are coming. They're all very different from each other, but they all work on the same record. I don't know if that makes any sense, but they've all got their own, you know, touch. They're all and feel. They're all very, very different.
And just lastly, guys, we've touched on, like, if you've got any plans for the rest of the year, and you talked about pushing this stuff, but have you got much in the can that's ready to go as well? Are you always going to be working on new music? I've
finished the mix for the next single after the record, so the other day. So
he's a genius. It sounds great.
It's so we've got, like, the next single after these 3 ready to go. So there's stuff in the can and ready to go. But like we said before, in terms of whether or not we'll be playing a show, who knows?
I have to wait and see.
Because we had some disappointing news, didn't we, come out of London last week, where they trialled.
Oh yeah.
They trialled a show in London, didn't they?
Oh yeah, apparently wasn't great, was it?
Yeah, and it didn't. I don't think it went according to plan, did it? According to the articles.
Would you guys be up for doing something like that if you got the opportunity to do like a limited capacity show? Would you be up for that, or
Yeah,
do you want?
because we're gonna keep our live show tally as a big fat 1 for this year.
Oh yeah, 1. Blimey.
Yeah.
It's definitely the venues that are suffering though, isn't it? Because it's the same with that venue. You have a small capacity of people, they're not going to be able to make money, so it's tough. Obviously if it works for everyone, then great. But
Well, fingers crossed we can get something sorted pretty soon.
I would like to see some outdoor stuff happen, but we keep hearing all these places they get like locally locked down now, don't they? So that's going to make it tough for people to commit to keeping a show booked in. It's going to it'd be a really, I'd imagine it's quite a nerve-wracking wait now for, like, if you had a show booked in, will we get locked down? Will we not get locked down? I don't know.
Fingers crossed. I need my Holloway Road fix, guys. I'm missing you guys.
Oh, Dan.
Damn.
We need a big festival party again.
Just wait till they allow us to do cuddles again, Dan.
I can't wait, mate.
You're at top of my cuddle list.
Oh, likewise, mate.
Yeah, I like a big festival. I can't wait. I can't wait until the next big festival that can happen, and it's back to as normal can be. Looking forward to next year, and if normal is that we all have to stand 1 meter apart, then that's what normal is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We can just blow kisses at each other.
Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. It's always a pleasure to see you, and we'll catch up soon, I'm sure. Hopefully in person.
Yeah, definitely.
And best luck with all the new music, guys.
Thanks,
cheers,
man.
Dude. Good luck in the Premiership next season.
Thank you, mate. Likewise. Looking forward to the battles.
Can't wait.
See you later, guys.
See you later.